What is going on, guys? So today we're going to show you how to download and use OBS Studio. There's other software such as Streamlabs and stuff like that, but I prefer OBS Studio. It is the OG, it is the original. I love it. It is simple and easy. If you want to do any types of recording of your screen, your game, whatever it might be, OBS Studio is the way to go. First thing you want to do is open up your web browser and go ahead and just search OBS. It'll come up with OBS Studio. And you download OBS Studio. Now you click this. It'll bring you to this page. You can go ahead and select which operating system you're on. I have it already downloaded, so I can't do it again, or I'm not gonna try to. But you select it, it will do a little pop-up up here saying download complete. You hit that button, it will start the installation process. Once your installation process is complete, you'll get your little, your shortcut at home. I put mine down to the hotbar as well, and then go ahead and open it up. Now, this might look a little funky. I mean, it does look really weird. That's because I'm screen capturing itself, so I can show you within OBS itself and not just like recording a game. So when you open it up, on the left-hand side here, your scenes. There will be nothing here at first, and then your sources. There will be nothing here at first as well. This is all the stuff I use for YouTube and whatnot. And then you have your audio, your microphone. So this is my mic here when I'm talking. And then desktop audio, so like the game volume from playing a video game or something on the web browser, whatever it might be. Discord gets captured through the desktop audio as well. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to add a scene, because like I said, when you first start this application, there won't be any scenes at all. So go ahead and click the little plus button down here. It'll give you add scene to. You can click OK, but we're not going to, because as soon as I hit OK, it's going to bring us to that scene, and then you won't be able to see the recording anymore. So let's pretend like we just added this scene, right? So you'll have this scene, and all the scene is a section where all your sources are. So keep it nice and simple. I keep it one scene only, and then from there you add all your sources. Now this is where I can show you all the different sources. All right, starting from the bottom, we have the game capture, and then above that we have window capture. Now the window capture and the game capture work very similar, but I noticed some video games on Steam won't capture through the game capture. I don't know why that is, and they only capture through window capture. So I have one of each, just in case if a certain game won't get captured through the game capture itself. Media capture. Now this is I'll pop this up right now. There we go. Hear the music playing. Now let's darken this real quickly. And there you go. This is my starting stream soon. Okay, that right there I showed you was my starting stream soon. I just call it media source. You can name it whatever you want, but I know the media source is that little intro to my streams. The next one is text. Now it's text up in the corner, which is just like I can do whatever I want, like BRB or starting stream soon or whatever it might be. You get a text. Video capture device. Now this is when I use my camera. I don't use this very often, so I keep this darkened all the time. And then, like I said, display capture is what we're on right now. So I was just talking about what I use. Now let's see what's available. So just like when I added a scene, you go down here to the sources, down to the plus button. And now you have all of your different things you can add. The window capture, video capture. So window capture and video capture. So video capture is like a camera, like I said. Window capture works like a game capture, depending on what game you're using and how it works. Sometimes you might use game or window. The text, we already talked about the text. Just simple text. You can type whatever you want, different fonts, and have it on your screen. Different scenes. Media source, that is any media source within your files, like your videos or pictures, you can put on there. Slideshows as well. I've never done that before. Or just simple images, which media source will work with images too. Some of these they'll kind of work over each other, so you don't have to do one. You can try it with another if one of them doesn't work. And the game capture, which we talked about already, simple and easy, works like the window capture. Color source, never use color source, so I don't know 100% what that is. Browser, okay, so if you want like Streamlabs or Stream Elements, I should say, Stream Elements or any kind of like notifications going on in your stream, all these like overlays and fun stuff like that, you have to go through your browser a lot of times. That is anything on the internet. So you add a browser, say okay, and then you would put your URL right here. So you would, this screen's a little bit screwed up here. I don't know why it looks so big. Hang on, let me minimize this a little bit. There we go. All right, so you would copy and paste your URL right here, and then whatever that website is, whether it be an element or an overlay, would show up on your screen. That would show up right here. So if I had a pop up saying, "Oh, thank you for the sub," it would pop up right here through that URL. All right, and if you want to get rid of one of these sources, you just highlight the source, go over to the trash can, and ask you if you want to delete it. Yes, nice and simple. I think that was the last one here. Oh no, okay. So we got audio output. So like I said, you have your normal basic mic and audio, and then desktop audio. Those are the only two I use because I am doing everything from my PC. I'm not using like a capture card. I'm using everything internal on the PC. So we'll talk about the mic and audio when we go through the settings itself, but I never really add one unless you have a third mic or something like that, or something that won't get picked up automatically by the system. And then this application audio capture, I'd never tried it. It's a beta. I don't mess around with that stuff. So that is a very simple review of the sources. Now you can play around with those different sources. Like I said, some things will act as double, like a game capture will work the same way as a window capture, depending on what device you're using, like Steam or playing through like EA or just web browser games. It's very, very different. And one thing to note is you can actually click and drag these things, these sources, or these little windows, and move them around and adjust them. Your recording is right here. Stop recording. You will obviously stop recording, and then your start recording will be in the same spot. You can pause the recording too, right down here on the right-hand side. Start virtual camera. I never used this, so I ain't gonna like bullshit you guys and say I know what it is because I don't. Studio mode. Never use studio mode either. Settings. So we can go ahead and go into the settings right now. All these settings might change depending on if you're using NVIDIA or if you're using AMD. Obviously it depends on your hardware as well. So general, very basic stuff. Updates. I mean, I really haven't done anything on the general setting at all. This is all basic. I've never changed anything on the general. Appearance. I just keep the appearance the same. Stream. So this is one of the more important ones. It kind of is. I mean, this is how you connect your stream to whatever you're going to do. Mine is connected to YouTube. If you want to do Twitch, you have to connect it to Twitch. And then after you connected it, you just keep it here. I mean, obviously you can disconnect the server if you want the account, but you just leave that alone. Now, output. This is where you start doing more advanced stuff, right? So there's two different styles. There's output mode simple, and then there's going to be advanced. Advanced will give you more settings. I keep mine on simple because it's nice and easy, and I have no issues with it. Okay, so this is the streaming category right here. So your video bitrate is how many kilobytes per second you can upload to YouTube. The higher the bitrate, the better quality your videos will be. But you need good internet. At 20,000 kilobytes per second, it's plenty enough to stream at 1440p and make it look really nice, 60 FPS. Audio bitrate, I keep it the same, 160. So this is where a lot is going to vary for you guys. A video encoder. Now, you can change the video encoder and how it actually records and streams. So software X246. I used to use this a lot back when I did it on a laptop only. But because I have NVIDIA, I can do the NVAX H.264 or the AV1 or HEVC, which I do H.264. Where, yeah, I don't know the difference really between them, but this is, I found the best quality one right here under hardware. Encoder presence. So best quality, slowest P7. I stream on P7, which is the best quality you can get. So I can't change any of the recording settings because I'm currently recording as we speak, obviously. So I have mine under D videos. That's where my recording path goes to. And then recorder quality. I have high quality, medium file size. You could change those extra large file size, which I don't recommend, and then small file size. I wish I could show you guys like the other settings that are in here, but I can't because I'm recording it. I don't have a second PC to show you on either, which sucks. But video encoder, same thing as the streaming one, which is the NVIDIA NVAC H.264. Now this is audio tracks. I only do one, but it might be smart to do multiple audio tracks. This means you can record in different audio tracks if you want to split the audio from the recording itself, which I don't bother with that personally because I have an app where I can rip the audio out from my video if I want to separate it from the video itself. So I don't really bother with multiple audio tracks. Never really needed to. Replay buffer, 20 seconds. Maximum memory, 512 megabytes. Keep it simple at that. All right, let's go to audio. So general, keep it. This is all stock stuff that came. Never change any of this stuff. Keeping the desktop audio at default is important because they'll capture any gameplay like within your PC itself. So normal gameplay or your chat if you're in a chat system, which is whether it be like a in-game chat or a what's it called, Discord, something like that. Keep it in default. I mean, you can change it if you want, but I keep mine default. The mic auxiliary audio. Now this is where you're gonna go ahead and change your audio, like what you're speaking into, whether it be a headset. So if you keep it on default, default will change whatever your PC is defaulted to. But I always make mine the my Shure MV7 Plus. Now, if I was to plug in my headset or turn on my headset because Bluetooth, I could technically change this to have it go through my headset, but my headset's way lower quality than this mic, obviously. And then, I mean, you have the 4 different separate mic audios, but if you only have one mic audio you're talking into, keep these disabled. No reason why to have these. If you have any of these enabled, it'll screw it up. Keep this one at the mic you want. Sometimes you might have to go in. So, like, if you unplug your mic for a minute and then replug it back in, you might have to go back into settings and check to make sure it's on the mic you want. The rest of this is very, very simple. I mean, I keep it all the same. You can take a look at it. I mean, we can go down here. 0 MS. I've never changed any of this stuff ever. Now, next is the video. Obviously, I can't change it because I'm recording, but I am recording at 1440p. You can be playing at 1440p on a monitor that's 1440p, but you can make it so you're only recording in 720p or 1080. Base is what you're planning on. So if you want to play on 1440p, it's going to be all default to this. But if you want to record on 1080p, even though you're still playing on this, you change this one down to 1080p. And having it scaled down helps a lot when you're either streaming or recording on, if you have hardware that's not as good, or if you think your hardware is not up to par, downscale it. The only reason I can do 1440p is because the good hardware, good internet, stuff like that. I used to do 1080p for the longest time at 60 FPS. I remember I first started on a laptop, a 2016 Lenovo laptop, in my Xbox, and a $25 capture card. I recorded at 30 FPS, 1080p, and then I finally got a little bit better internet, so I was able to do 60 FPS, stuff like that. And when I say record, I mean streaming, because it was always streaming. Obviously, the internet, depending on how good your quality is. But my hardware was not great, so there was no way for me to record in 1440p. There was no way. But after getting this PC and the good internet and all the good stuff, I was able to match the scaled output as the base output. Because my monitor is 1440p. I've had people ask me, why don't you do 4K? It's like, my monitor's not true 4K, so there's no point even changing it, because it won't matter. And then your common FPS is 60. You could change it to 30, 25, I think 42. There's some weird ones in there too, but 60 is the highest you can record in. You can't record anything higher than 60 FPS. Even if your FPS is like 150 or 200, it won't record to it. And then your hotkeys. I have 0 hotkeys set up. I don't bother with this other stuff over here. Accessibility and advanced. I honestly haven't looked through any of this stuff. I mean, color format, if you want to change the coloring, the rendering. I could actually probably change this to DirectX 12 instead of 11 for the rendering. It would probably help the videos out, wouldn't it? But that's just a simple overview of the settings. Whenever you make a change in the settings, make sure you hit apply before you hit OK or cancel. But that is a an overview of the settings, how to record, audio, sources, stuff like that. Now, we're going to talk about a little more advanced stuff, which is the file, edit, view, docs, and stuff up here. Now you hit file, you can show recording, go to your settings. I mean, this is pretty much just a little shortcut for over here. Edit, undo, delete the browser, because I deleted that. So if you delete something and you're like, oh crap, I didn't want to get rid of that source, you hit the undo button. Very simple and easy. If you want to copy a source, you can copy it. And if you go over your docs, now docs are these right here. When I pulled this out, this is a doc. This is a sources doc right here. So you can see what's checked out: sources, scenes, sources, audio mixer, stuff like that. Now, if I want to go to YouTube Live Control Panel, I click that, and it'll bring up a YouTube Live Control Panel here. I can attach it to the side, and I can thicken it out a little bit. And then when I start streaming, all my information here will be going on now. Normally, I'm displaying this on my main screen right now. Normally, I have this displayed on my smaller monitor off to the side, and I'll show you like your viewer count, stuff like that, your chat messages. This over here on the right hand side is on chat box. It just shows like this because I'm not streaming at the moment. But usually, what I do is when I stream, I pull them off the side like this, and I'll usually have this box like that size, and I'll pull my chat box off like this, and this will take up most of the OBS side over here. And then this is how I read chat on my second monitor. So I'll be reading chat here. I can see my viewer count, and then I can see all my audio and stuff over here like this. So this next one's gonna be talking about the audio. One of the most important parts of this video. Probably should have mentioned it earlier, but it's more advanced, so I didn't really, I didn't want to confuse too many people too early. I have a Shure MV7 mic, which is one of the best mics you can get. It's not the Shure SM7B. That one is the one step up from mine, which is like the ultimate mic, But you can plug and play it because it is a really good mic, but it's not going to sound as good as it sounds right now for you guys. Now, I hope this mic sounds good the way I set it up. And that is because you go under the mic. Remember, this is how I set this is my input for my talking. I have it maxed out. Hit this little 3 dots over here. And then, most important thing is filters. Lots of filters. Now, I had a lot of filters because I used a Yeti mic beforehand. So I had to use a lot more filters on it. This one, the only filters I need is noise suppression, which you can select which one you want to use. SpeedX or the... Wait, is it SpeedX? Hang on. SpeedX. Yeah, SpeedX. Low CPU usage, low quality. I use the good one, which is good quality, more CPU usage. This just helps background noise and whatnot, not get, get filtered in. Like my cats are running around right now, but you probably can't hear that, luckily. And the only other one I have is a limiter. So the limiter, I have it set to minus 10 decibels. That is, this mic will not go above minus 10 decibels. As you can see right here, this is minus 10, and that is maxed out right there. I'm going to go ahead and max out the mic. Ready? See, that will not go past that minus 10. So like I can yell, I can get loud. It'll sound, it might buffer out of the mic, like it might cut it out completely, but also it kind of keeps my voice at a constant level. It tends to take out the, the, what do you say, like the enthusiasticness out of my voice, but it keeps it from going into the red. The last thing you want is the mic going into the red, because then it's just screechy, annoying, buffering, horribleness. So you can change that threshold depending on what you want, how high you want your voice. I have my mic very close to my mouth right now. Honestly, what I did is I looked up best mic settings on YouTube for whatever mic I had, and then they go over in detail what each one of these things do. Like I said, I'm not a pro. I'm not going to try and go over and explain every little thing because I don't know. The only ones I use now is the limiter and the noise suppression because my mic is good enough where I don't need all these other ones here. It does get very confusing, so I'm not going to try to explain that. This is not how to set your mic up for the best quality. This is just showing you you can add all kinds of filters to your microphone to make it sound better. Because some microphones plug and play, they sound decent, but a lot of times you're going to need to add these filters to sound even better. Yeah, that is it, guys. So with that being said, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. Let me know how I did in this video. Me trying to describe stuff like this gets very frustrating for me sometimes because I go back and forth, or I skip some things, or I get ahead of myself. So it's very frustrating to me. That's why I don't do a lot of these videos that are outside gaming, like tips and tricks. I hope this helped a lot of new people get into OBS. OBS is a very nice system, nice software. I mean, I've been using it for years, and it's like second nature to me, but I'm just bad at describing stuff. So there's that. With that being said, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, y'all.